Chapter 3773. What's wrong, Yuning? You don't look well. Seeing her daughter's strange look, Mrs. Chin was a little worried. Oh, I'm fine. Yuning, you must thank her later. I heard from the neighbors that these supplements cost more than 10,000 yuan. Your director's wife bought them with her own money. She's a good person. Chin Yuning was no longer in the mood to listen to her mother's nagging. She only felt agitated. I got it, Mom, she said perfunctorily and turned to walk out of the store and into the first floor of the backyard. Zhu Lingling, I underestimated you and forgot that you have a powerful bestie. Chin Yuning had mixed feelings. She had investigated Zhu Lingling. She thought Zhu Lingling was useless except for her good looks, good fortune, and the fact that she gave birth to a son for the Gao family. Besides, Zhu Lingling was hot-tempered and not very smart. She had thought she could trick Zhu Lingling with some tricks. But to her surprise, Zhu Lingling didn't do it herself but brought a helper. You want to play with me? Let's try it. Chin Yuning smiled viciously. That night, Gao Ran got home at 7 p.m. Of course, he didn't drive a BYD because he didn't want to be laughed at by his colleagues in the municipal bureau. So when he took a taxi to work, he told his colleagues that his car had been serviced. Exhausted, Gao Ran returned home and was shocked again when he entered the house. The house was clean and tidy. Zhu Lingling was sitting on the sofa in a black lace nightgown. Their son was nowhere to be seen. Honey, you're back. Zhu Lingling walked over with great enthusiasm and took the bag from Gao Ran's hand. Who are you? How dare you possess my wife? Get out of here or I'll show you your true form. Damn you. What are you talking about? Zhu Lingling's smile lasted for less than 3 seconds before she grabbed Gao Ran's ear. That's right. That's my wife. Gao Ran was relieved, or he would have thought it was a female ghost. Honey, where's our son? I sent her to Mom's house. Your mother's house or my mother's house? Gao Ran was stunned. Of course it's your mother's house. She said that there's no Wi-Fi at her house. It's not like you don't know that. Haha, my son really can't live without the internet. Go wash your hands and eat. There's still food. Gao Ran did not dare to have any hope, thinking that he would be treated the same as last night. Therefore, when he came back, he had a simple bite at the snack bar at the entrance. When he heard that there was food, he was very surprised. After washing his hands, Zhang Xian walked over to the dining table, only to be stunned once more. There were a total of 10 dishes. Even on his birthday, Zhu Lingling had never been so diligent. Honey, what day is it today? There aren't many days. That's impossible. Hurry up and tell me. You've been acting weird recently. Are you seeing someone outside? Gao Ran joked. Yeah, I'm dating old Wang next door. Buyun is also brother Wang's son. Gao Ran was speechless. Stop fooling around. Gao Ran's face darkened. I told you it's not a special day. Are you going to eat or not? Zhu Lingling had run out of patience. Yes. At this moment, Gao Ran did not dare to say that he had already eaten outside, so he could only sit down. He ate slowly with Zhu Lingling. Honey. Yeah. How's the BYD? It's pretty good. I thought about it carefully and felt that you're the director after all, and that car doesn't suit your status. So I decided to let you drive the Land Rover. Here I'll return your credit card and your salary. If you treat Chin Chu and the others to a meal or something, won't it be embarrassing if you don't have enough money? By the way, look, I bought you a few new Burberry designs today. This cashmere coat costs 16,000 yuan. The blue one suits you best. It's young. Zhu Lingling showed Gao Ran the handbag. Honey, can't we talk about it all at once? My heart feels like it's on a fucking roller coaster. Gao Ran pulled a long face. He really couldn't stand his wife's sudden change in attitude. It was a rare luxury car in the city and the starting price was 25 million yuan. Therefore, there was a difference between rich and powerful people. For example, Qin Chu, Su Yu, Tang Chuan and Wei Liao were all super rich. Hey wait, where's Han Yueyao? Hearing that Han Yueyao was discharged today, Su Yu wanted to take her with him. She said she wanted to sleep a little more and be discharged in the afternoon, Huamin said. This lazy pig. She's not happy to be discharged. Su Yu smiled and didn't think much of it. Then he left with Lady Su, Tang Chuan and the others. Mian, when you get off work, come to my house for dinner. I'll cook delicious food for everyone tonight. Before leaving, Lady Su reminded her with a smile. Hey auntie. See you tonight. As soon as Su Yu and the others left, Huamin saw a man riding a Harley into the hospital. Hey Vice Director, look. That's the man who paid for Miss Han's medical expenses. Everyone says he's Miss Han's boyfriend, but didn't Miss Han say she's Lord Su's girlfriend? Is this a love triangle? What a messy relationship, the nurse gossiped. Huamin looked at the man's back with a deep gaze. Chapter 3775. Lin Heng parked his motorcycle, took off his helmet and walked in. He seemed to know Huamin. When he passed by Huamin, he glanced at her. But they didn't speak. When Lin Heng came in, Han Yueyao had already packed her clothes and daily necessities. Huh. Why are you alone? Where's Xiao Xiao? She had contacted Su Xiaoxiao on WeChat last night. However, she didn't see Su Xiaoxiao today. Instead, she saw Lin Heng. Han Yueyao felt weird with this man. Xiaoxiao called me and said she couldn't come out. He has a job. I see. It's okay. I can walk by myself. I'll drive you. You don't have much. I can tie it to the back of the motorcycle. No, it's okay. Before Han Yueyao could finish, Lin Heng picked up the big bag Xiaoxiao had packed on the bed and walked out. Sai Yu. Lin Fan was speechless. Lin Heng's personality wasn't much better than Su Yu's. Although he wasn't as hot-tempered, he was very strange. In the morning, Lady Su came to ask her about it. She asked if she wanted to leave the hospital with Su Yu, but she refused. She didn't want to be so high-profile anymore. The past was fake. It was just an act for others to see, so it didn't matter anymore. Now that she had different feelings for Su Yu, she didn't want to use the name and halo of Su Yu's girlfriend to do evil. But she had never done that. Lin Heng packed up his things and Han Yueyao had no choice but to follow him out. She happened to walk across from Huamin. Didn't you say you'd be discharged in the afternoon? No. I was bored, so I went back. You finished the discharge procedures? Huamin asked. Yeah, they're all done. Thank you for taking care of me, Sister Mian. Han Yueyao smiled. She really liked Huamin. Hey, let's not talk about this. Are you going to dinner tonight? Han Yueyao knew Huamin was asking about the dinner party Lady Su held at the Su family's mansion. Let me see. I haven't decided yet. Well, if you're going, send me a WeChat message and I'll get the driver to pick you up. Otherwise, it'll be inconvenient to get a car to the villa at such a late hour. Okay, I'll go now, Sister Mian. All right. After greeting Han Yueyao, she left the hospital. Huamin didn't ask her about Lin Heng. Huamin believed she was a smart girl. She wouldn't fall into a love triangle for no reason, so she never listened to such unreliable gossip. Han Yueyao wasn't squeamish and thought riding a motorcycle was just the same. Qin Jia, on the other hand, was more straightforward. She had just returned from a business trip and saw Han Yueyao getting on the motorcycle, so she stopped her. Yao Yao, what are you doing? Xiao Jia, my friend, is here to pick me up from the hospital. I'm leaving. I know you're discharged today, but you still have injuries on your body. The motorcycle is so bumpy. Do you want to break your bones again? If you're her friend, why didn't you drive your car? Don't act cool. Chapter 3776. Take it. Sister Mian gave it to you. She didn't give it to you in person because she didn't want you to be shy. Then Qinjie turned and left. Han Yueyao looked at the envelope in her bag with complicated feelings. She knew what it was. Lin Heng stopped a taxi and they went back to the dorm. As expected, Su Xiaoxiao wasn't at the company or the dorm. Yao, what do you want to eat? I'll buy it. Otherwise you'll have to go out again. It's okay. I'm not hungry. Han Yueyao wasn't in the mood to eat. Then I'll go to the hospital to get my motorcycle. I'll pick you up for dinner later. It's okay. I'm going to the Su family for dinner tonight. Han Yueyao said this on purpose to reject Lin Heng. You still decided to be with him? Lin Heng looked disappointed. Lin Heng, I'm sorry. It's impossible between us. Xiao Xiao likes you very much. Don't talk about it. Go to bed early. Hearing Han Yueyao mention Su Xiaoxiao again, Lin Heng didn't want to continue and left with a lonely expression. Han Yueyao sat in the dorm for a while with complicated feelings. Then she remembered the envelope Qinjie had given her. She opened it and sure enough there was 10,000 yuan in cash inside. Huamin must have seen that Han Yueyao's hospitalization expenses were paid by others. Then she didn't work much and didn't have much income. This girl had dignity and couldn't ask Su Yu for money. Jokes aside, when it came to a critical moment she would never be able to open her mouth. Besides, she didn't want to rely on Lady Sue's charity. Huamin must have considered this and asked Qin Jie to give Han Yueyao 10,000 yuan for her living expenses. She looked at the money and picked up her phone. She sent a WeChat message to Huamin. Sister Mian, I've received the money. I'm grateful. Take it. Pay me back when you get your salary and have more money. Huamin didn't say it was for free. It wasn't because he wanted the 10,000 yuan back. He said it was for Han Yueyao's dignity and face. This made her feel much better. Sister Mian, the person who took me out of the hospital is the one who paid for my medical expenses. I don't like him. I didn't accept his advances. I know. I believe you have a choice in your personal matters. Huamin did not interfere, nor did he ask. Everyone was waiting for the Su family's dinner that night. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling also went downstairs, planning to go to the Su family to celebrate Su Yu. Honey, let's go to Mom's to pick up Buin. Little Bean and the others will be there. Let's bring Bu Yuan. Okay. Gao Ran nodded and the two of them walked towards the black Land Rover. At this moment, Qin Yuning suddenly appeared beside the car. Chief Gao, little Qin? Why are you here? Seeing this girl, Gao Ran was surprised. Zhu Lingling's eyes instantly turned cold. Chief Gao, I don't even know where you live. I only know it's in this community. Fortunately, I know your car's license plate, so I've been waiting for you. Qin Yuning's tone was mischievous like an innocent girl and her smile was sweet. But her smile disgusted Zhu Lingling. She knew that this woman was trying to seduce her husband. At this thought, Zhu Lingling walked up and held Gao Ran's arm. Honey, who's this? Chapter 3777. Oh, this is little Qin, my colleague from the municipal bureau. Gao Ran didn't feel awkward and introduced her to Lingling at once. Hello. Zhu Lingling greeted Qin Yuning with a smile. Sister Lingling, how come you don't know me? Qin Yuning asked in bafflement. How can I know you? Zhu Lingling chuckled and held Gao Ran's arm more tightly. That's strange. Sister Lingling, if you don't know me, why did you go to my house yesterday and buy so many expensive things for my parents? Qin Yuning lifted the bag in her hand, which was indeed from Zhu Lingling and Huamin. What's this? What's the matter? Gao Ran was baffled, wondering what the two women were talking about. Even his Lingling was acting strange today. Before Zhu Lingling could speak, Qin Yuning explained, Director Gao, Sister Lingling took good care of me and felt that my family was in a difficult situation, so she visited my parents on behalf of you. It's a good thing and I'm very grateful. After all, a superior is considerate of her subordinates. But, we're just an ordinary family and can't afford such expensive things. Last night I discussed it with my parents and decided to return the things. But we accept your kindness. Thank you, Sister Lingling. Thank you, Sister Lingling. Qin Yuning stuffed the bags into Zhu Lingling's hands and bowed sincerely. This made Zhu Lingling feel very awkward. Gao Ran finally understood what was going on. However, Zhu Lingling wasn't a greedy person. Why would she send gifts to Qin Yuning's parents for no reason? If he were an ordinary man, he would have questioned his wife with a livid face. But Gao Ran didn't. After he understood what was going on, he only glanced at Zhu Lingling. Then he said to Qin Yuning with a smile, Lingling went to visit your parents as I told her to. She's been working overtime recently and the bureau is very busy. It's my idea. But my wife is too honest. I told her to just buy some gifts, but she bought something so expensive. The bureau can't reimburse me. It's good that she returned the gifts. Lingling, when you buy gifts for other employees, buy milk powder and oatmeal instead of bird's nest and sea cucumber. Zhu Lingling was surprised. Then she looked at her husband gratefully and nodded. Hey honey. I know I'm wrong. Biting her lips, Qin Yuning didn't expect things to turn out like this. She had thought that Zhu Lingling would feel embarrassed and Gao Ran would be mad at Zhu. It was obvious that Gao Ran didn't know about this from the beginning to the end. However, she didn't expect Gao Ran to be the scapegoat so that Zhu Lingling wouldn't be in a difficult position. I was wondering how Sister Lingling knew me and my family. So it was your idea, Chief Gao. Qin Yuning was embarrassed. Yeah. My wife doesn't know her colleagues in the bureau well. She just follows my orders, Gao Ran replied calmly. Thank you, Chief Gao. You're welcome. Little Qin, do you have anything else to say? No. Then we'll go now. Our friend is discharged from the hospital and we're going to celebrate. Excuse us. With that, Gao Ran held Zhu Lingling's hand, got into the Land Rover and left. Qin Yuning's face was pale. She had calculated everything, but there was one thing she missed. That was, Gao Ran loved Zhu Lingling very much and was very protective of her. Zhu Lingling, how can you deserve such a good man? How can you? With hatred in her eyes, Qin Yuning said bitterly as she watched the Land Rover drive away. Chapter 3778. In the car, Gao Ran didn't say a word and just drove quietly. There was no sign of joy, anger, sorrow, or joy on his face. Honey, I'm sorry. Zhu Lingling knew that it was wrong of her to do that, so she quickly apologized. Why are you sorry? About going to Qin Yuning's house. Honey, do you know why Chu and Mian have been in love for so many years and why no one else can leave them? Gao Ran asked. Why? Because they trust each other so much. I trust you too, but tell me what happened in the past 2 days. You and Huamin must be hiding something from me. Gao Ran had only guessed it because he had too many things to do in the bureau and wasn't in the mood to make a big deal out of it. But Zhu Lingling's abnormal behavior, the questions Huamin asked in the bureau, and her attitude toward Qin Yuning, made Gao Ran suspicious. Chief Gao couldn't help but be suspicious. He was a quick-witted and highly logical police officer. He wasn't an ordinary man. So, connecting the dots, he was sure of it. It had something to do with Zhu Lingling, Huamin, and Qin Yuning. Zhu Lingling knew her husband was smart and didn't dare to hide the truth from him. So he simply recounted the whole story. Gao Ran was still expressionless when she finished. Honey, I actually trusted you a lot, but after I found those photos, and all sorts of evidence, I thought. Zhu Lingling paused. You thought I cheated on you? Zhu Lingling nodded. I'm sorry, honey. It's all my fault. Mian and Qin Chu both knew you didn't know about it. I was the only one who misunderstood you. Zhu Lingling felt guilty. Especially when Gao Ran defended her in front of Qin Yuning, she realized she had misunderstood her husband. It's not your fault. Little Qin is indeed a scheming girl. I don't believe that she bought so many of the same clothes as me by coincidence. Darling, do you believe me? Zhu Lingling was overjoyed. Of course you're my wife. Otherwise, why would I believe an outsider? Zhu Lingling was surprised. She immediately leaned over, held Gao Ran's face and kissed him on the mouth. Stop fooling around, I'm driving. What if something happens? The traffic police will report that the car got into an accident because the car owner was busy kissing. How can I show my face to the public? It's fine. I'll say that I forced you. Zhu Lingling was in a great mood. Get lost, don't talk nonsense. After the couple explained the situation, Zhu Lingling felt as if the rock in her heart had been lifted. Gao Ran's attitude was clear. He had no interest in Qin Yuning, just as Huamin had guessed. Darling, you won't betray me, right? You won't like girls who are prettier and cuter than Qin Yuning, right? That's not necessarily true. If you do something crazy again and change my car, clothes or shoes from Taobao and then keep my pocket money, I might cheat on you. Haha, I won't do it again. I've decided to give you 500 yuan more pocket money next month. How can 500 yuan be enough? It'll be at least 800 yuan. Gao Ran mumbled as he drove. That's all you've got. Zhu Lingling suddenly felt happy. It seemed she had been overthinking things. Darling, if that woman fawns on you again, what will you do? Will you lose control sooner or later? After the excitement, Zhu Lingling still thought little Qin was a hidden danger. Chapter 3779. Yeah. I think I won't be able to control myself. Gao Ran said seriously. Zhu Lingling's face fell. She was about to complain when Gao Ran continued. I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself and fire her. Fire her? Zhu Lingling didn't expect this to happen. Yeah. I don't like scheming women in the office. I can let her keep an eye on me since I'm a strong-willed man. But what if she destroys someone else's family? Yeah. She's a ticking time bomb wherever she goes. So, I think we should find a chance to transfer her to the women's prison. They're short of staff. Gao Ran said with a straight face. Zhu Lingling was overjoyed to hear that. Honey, I love you. At this moment, I love the People's Republic of China too. You've risen to this level? Zhu Lingling nodded vigorously. Yeah. As a family member of a cadre, I have to be aware of this. The couple bickered all the way to pick up Buin and then went to the Su family's house. The Su family's house was very lively tonight. So you hadn't been home for dinner for a long time. It was a rare occasion for such a big gathering. Mr. Su and Lord Su were also there. Including some of the Su family's close friends and relatives, there were a total of 4 tables set up. They were all dishes prepared by Lady Su. Qin Chu Huamin Wei Liao Xiaowei, Gao Ran Lingling Tang Chuan Qin Ning. Shin Mingxi Wei Ying Han Yueyao and Su Xiaoxiao. Su Xiaoxiao was a stranger to them, so she sat at the Su family's table. Han Yueyao had wanted to sit in a corner, but Lady Su arranged for her to sit beside Su Yu. Sister Han, why didn't you stay at home after you were discharged? Why are you here? Su Yu asked with a smile. I heard that there's free food and drink here and the food is pretty good, so I came to scrounge a meal. You're really shameless, aren't you? I'm willing. Don't be in a hurry to bicker with each other. Why don't you share your sentiments with us? Tang Chuan interrupted. What feelings? Su Yu was puzzled. A speech after surviving a calamity, such as thanking everyone, cherishing life and so on. My thoughts are my life is so tough. Even the king of hell isn't willing to accept me. He was in a good mood. He picked up his cup and drank alone. What about you, student Han? Don't you want to say something? Tang Chuan teased her. I cherish my life and stay away from Su Yu. Hearing her words, everyone burst into laughter. Fuck. You're talking as if I'm a jinx. Can you do it or not? Su Yu glared at her from the corner of his eyes. You're eating my food and drinking my water. Isn't that what you like? Han Yueyao retorted. Everyone laughed along with her. Handsome Su, you seem to have met your match. Little Bean said with a gossipy smile. Match? I laughed at her face. She's young, so I won't lower myself to her level. Then Su Yu began to talk nonsense with the others. Chapter 3780. Big Brother Mingxi. You don't look well. Haven't you been sleeping well? Yeah. I have insomnia. What happened? Shin Mingxi looked at Wei Ying with concern. It's stubborn insomnia. It's been a long time. It happens every once in a while. Did it happen before? Wei Ying knew Shin Mingxi was talking about the time they were married. Yeah. Maybe you didn't notice it back then. Shin Mingxi didn't pay attention to Wei Ying before and didn't notice it. Have you seen a doctor? Yes. The doctor said insomnia isn't easy to treat and told me to adjust myself. I think you should see a Chinese medicine doctor. I know a friend who specializes in Chinese medicine. His family is from an aristocratic family and his grandpa is a good doctor. My mom is treating cervical spondylosis there. You can go and see her when you have time. Okay, Wei Ying nodded. Then they fell into an awkward silence again. If there's nothing else, I'll go back to my seat. Just like that, Wei Ying and Shin Mingxi only talked once, deliberately avoiding Wei Liao. Wei Liao was alert and immediately sent Yunchu to find Wei Ying when she didn't come back. So Wei Yunchu saw his auntie talking with Shin Mingxi. Auntie, you seem to like your ex-husband a lot. Who says so? Everyone on earth knows. Wei Ying. He's indeed handsome. Auntie, you're obsessed with good looks, Wei Yunchu said. You little brat, you know nothing. I know everything. Pudding said Auntie can't forget her ex-husband. But Grandma and Dad don't like him, so they can't be together. Then tell me, what else did your Pudding say? Pudding also said Auntie shouldn't be entangled with her ex-husband anymore. But Wei Ying knew the twins of the Qin family were smart and often said shocking things, but she didn't expect them to gossip so much about her love life. Seeing no one was around, Wei Yunchu whispered in Wei Ying's ear. Our Pudding said that your ex-husband is a burden. He has a bad woman pestering him and Tian following him around. If you make up with him, you'll be troubled. So it's better to call it quits. Your Miss Pudding is really far-sighted. Wei Ying didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she heard the kid talk about her so seriously. Auntie, since you're so outstanding, you should find another man. Where are we going to find it? It's not like we're buying groceries at the market. We can just grab a bunch. I have a suitable one. I can keep an eye out for you. You? Forget it. Don't tease me, nephew. Wei Ying was amused by the little guy. I'm serious. If I have uncles who are single and have good conditions, I'll introduce them to you. Stop. Save it. Don't worry about your aunt. Your aunt is as beautiful as a flower. It's not like I can't get married. After the conversation with Wei Yunchu, Wei Ying only thought that her nephew was funny and didn't take his words to heart. After a long time, she realized that she had been blinded by her love and couldn't see the truth that even a 3-year-old kid could see. Han Yueyao didn't drink much and wasn't familiar with the others. So after a few bites she stood up and walked around the yard. She had wanted to ask Xiao Xiao if she wanted to go back to the dorm, but to her surprise she ran into Su Yu's mother and father. "Honey, this is the kid I told you about. Her name is Yao Yao. Do you remember her?" Lady Su introduced Han Yueyao to Su Yu's father warmly. Chapter 3781. Uncle Ho. Facing Su Yu's father, Han Yueyao was truly afraid. Mr. Su had a righteous look on his face. She heard that he always had the final say at home, very much like Lord Su. He was also swift and decisive in his work. All these years, the only woman who could receive praise from Su Yu's father seemed to be Huamin. Therefore, even though Han Yueyao didn't want to do anything with Su Yu, she was still scared. "Okay." Mr. Su only nodded and didn't say anything else. "Yaya, why are you here? Are you full?" "I'm full, so I'm afraid of getting fat, so I came here for a walk. Is the food to your liking?" "Yes, it's very delicious. Auntie, your chef is really a 5-star chef." This wasn't flattery. Han Yueyao used to think that her father's fish was the best. But today she ate the steamed grouper made by the Su family's chef. The taste was simply, incomparably delicious. Even her father was probably defeated by it. "Are you and Xiao Xiao roommates?" Mr. Su suddenly asked. "Yes, uncle. Xiao Xiao is a naughty child. Her father always asks us to look after her, but she's grown up and isn't as good-looking as when she was young. You have to take care of Xiao Xiao." Su Yu's mother said this. "I will, auntie. Xiao Xiao's personality is quite annoying. She doesn't have many friends here, but she's very close to you. Just now at the dinner table she kept praising you. She said that you're cleaning the dormitory now and even washing her clothes for her." "It's nothing. Xiao Xiao and I are friends." "It's nothing," Han Yueyao said humbly. After all, she was in front of an elder, so she didn't dare to be too presumptuous. "What's your position in Yu's company?" Mr. Su asked again. Han Yueyao was about to say that she was in charge of odd jobs, but on second thought she realized that it wasn't appropriate. After all, it would seem like Su Yu didn't put her in an important position. So she explained tactfully, "I'm an assistant in the acting department." "Assistant?" Mr. Su frowned slightly. "Maybe Yu sees that Yao is a newcomer, so he wants her to start from the bottom," Lady Su explained. "Child, do you want to enter the entertainment industry?" Mr. Su asked again. Before she could finish her sentence, Qin Chu interrupted her. Then she heard Mr. Su say, "But once she enters the entertainment industry, she won't be able to enter the Su family." "Uncle, to be honest, I've never thought of joining your Su family." Han Yueyao knew her words would cause a commotion. Sure enough, Su Yu's father's expression turned ugly when he heard that. Lady Su kept winking at her. She thought to herself, "It's fine if you tell me, but how can you say that to Yu's father? So this is just our family's wishful thinking?" Su Yu's father looked at Su Yu's mother with dissatisfaction, then turned around and left. It was obvious that he wasn't happy with her answer. The old man's meaning was clear. "If you don't want to be our daughter-in-law, why am I still gossiping with you? Yao. I forget it. I'll talk to you when I'm free." Lady Su sighed slightly. She felt that this child was too straightforward and offended her husband with her words. Looking at the couple leaving, Han Yueyao puffed up her cheeks and comforted herself. "Forget it. It'll probably be difficult to get along with such in-laws in the future. Han Yueyao, don't think too much. That person, he's not your cup of tea." "What kind of food? What kind of food do you like?" Su Yu was about to go to the front hall to get some wine when he heard Han Yueyao mumbling. "Oh my God, are you trying to scare me to death?" Not expecting Su Yu to be behind her, Han Yueyao was shocked. Don't call me Mom. I can barely accept it. Call me Dad." Su Yu deliberately took advantage of her. Chapter 3782. "Dad? Are you sure you can take it? Aren't you afraid that your life will be shortened?" Han Yueyao wanted to punch him in the face. "I'm not afraid. I've been tough since I was a child. Come on, my dear girl, call me that." "Go to hell." Seeing Su Yu's smug look, Han Yueyao felt like punching him. "Okay, I won't argue with you anymore. If you have nothing to do after dinner, go home with Xiao Xiao." Are you chasing us away? No, I'm just afraid that Xiao Xiao will get drunk and cause trouble again. She's been doing pretty well lately, so it's best if she doesn't cause trouble. Also, tell her to stay away from her friends. They're a bunch of hooligans. If her dad finds out, he'll skin her alive. Suyu instructed Han Yueyao. Indeed, he seemed to have figured out what kind of person Han Yueyao was, so he felt safe putting Su Xiaoxiao with her. Don't accuse me. Xiao Xiao's friends aren't gangsters. They're all good people. Although she didn't have any feelings for Lin Hang, she didn't want Suyu to call her a gangster. Lin Hang was a good person. Other than his weird personality, he didn't do anything outrageous. Whoa. It's only been a few days and you're infected. Do you think it's bird flu? How can it be contagious? You're the president of a company. Can't you be more polite? Okay, I won't argue with you. Your mouth is like a machine gun. I think you can shoot it all night. In the end, Suyu surrendered and returned to his seat with the wine. Although Han Yueyao quarreled with Suyu, she didn't know what to say. But she still followed Suyu's instructions and brought Su Xiaoxiao back to Imperial Star's dorm early. These elders preach to me every time they see me. They're so annoying. I shouldn't have gone. On the way back, Su Xiaoxiao complained about the elders of the Su family. They're just concerned about you. If they don't care about you, no one will care about you. Just be content, Han Yueyao persuaded her. You're right. I know. Anyway, they're all better than my dad, Su Xiaoxiao complained in a low voice. Your dad might actually love you. What do you know? There's only a vixen in his heart. He's long forgotten about me and my mother. It's only been a few years since my mother died, and he's already hugging another woman. Su Xiaoxiao seemed to be very excited when she mentioned her father. Yao Yao, do you know? I've always felt that men are unreliable. In a couple, if the man is sick, the wife will definitely take care of him without any complaints. However, if the wife is sick, the man will most likely give up on her. When I was young, Uncle Yu, who lived in the same courtyard as me, used to be very loving with his wife. Later, when his wife was paralyzed due to a stroke, he didn't want to take care of her and sent her to a sanatorium. After that, he didn't care about her. Not long after, he met a woman and brought her home. He even held a banquet for her. His little brother was crying so pitifully at that time. At that time, my mother wasn't dead yet. She even told me that a child without a mother was like a blade of grass. Maybe it was because she had drunk some wine, but Su Xiaoxiao was particularly sad when she talked about her childhood. Xiaoxiao, it's all in the past. Your mother is in the other world. She'll protect you. I don't believe in ghosts and gods. I only know that a dead person is dead. There's no such thing as past or present life. Yao Yao. As long as we're alive, we'd better live according to our wishes. We mustn't mistreat ourselves. So, I plan to do something to Lin. Do something? Hearing the word, Han Yueyao's eyelids twitched, wondering what Su Xiaoxiao was up to. Chapter 3783. Yeah. I must have him. Su Xiaoxiao's obsession with Lin Heng made Han Yueyao feel like she wasn't just interested in him. This little girl seemed to have an unimaginable obsession with that man. Xiaoxiao. Actually, Lin Heng. Han Yueyao had been looking for an opportunity to explain to Su Xiaoxiao about her relationship with Lin Heng. Otherwise, Xiaoxiao would definitely misunderstand if she found out later. After all, it was a sad thing for the person you like to fall in love with your friend. Don't tell me you like Lin too? Su Xiaoxiao widened her eyes. No. I have no feelings for him at all. Han Yueyao hurriedly explained, afraid Su Xiaoxiao would misunderstand. You scared me. Skud. Yao. Don't fight with me for Lin Heng. I don't care about anything else. I won't. Don't worry. Seeing Su Xiaoxiao so nervous, Han Yueyao didn't make things clear. They returned to the company dorm. On the other side, the Su family was still brightly lit. No one seemed to be able to enjoy themselves. Perhaps they were too happy that Suyu was discharged from the hospital. Huamin, on the other hand, was pregnant and couldn't stay up all night. Lady Su saw that Huamin was tired, so she took her to the balcony and poured her a cup of hot water. Thank you, Auntie. Don't mention it. We're family. By the way, Grandpa was talking about you and said he wanted to talk to you. I'll go get him. No, I'll go find Grandpa. Huamin didn't want to trouble the old man. You're pregnant. Don't run around. It's okay. Grandpa won't pick on you. Unable to persuade Lady Su, Huamin took some time to rest on the balcony. Mr. Qin was asked to stay and drink with them. The kids didn't seem sleepy either. Every time Huamin was immersed in this happy moment, she would sigh and wish they could stay happy forever. The Su family's old master walked over with large strides. His actions were swift and decisive. Lord Su. Huamin stood up immediately. Take a seat. Old Master Su waved his hand and let Huamin sit down. Lord Su, I haven't seen you in a long time. You seem to be very busy this year. Yeah, there are a lot of policies and changes at the top. I've basically been in the South China Sea this year. Then you have to take care of your health. I'm fine. My body is very healthy. But you, the little guy, is about to give birth, right? Yes, soon. This kid really makes us all look forward to it. Have you decided on a name yet? Not yet. Lord Su, why don't you help us get one? Huamin had also discussed this with Qin Chu before. He even asked Qin Chu if he wanted to find a feng shui master to test the characters. However, Qin Chu didn't really believe that, so he just laughed it off. Now that they were talking about this, Huamin respected old Master Su very much and treated him like his own grandfather. Especially when he lived in the Su family for a year, he was taken care of by Lord Su. At that time, Huamin liked to eat sour apricots. However, it was winter in the north. Where could he get apricots? Old Master Su didn't hesitate to ask his subordinates in the southern army to search everywhere and then fly them back. This treatment was not much different from when Yang Guifei ate lychees. Therefore, Huamin casually gave his son's name to Old Master Su. Me? Is this appropriate? As Old Master Su spoke, his eyes seemed to be a little surprised. Old people were like children. In fact, they especially liked to be noticed by others to prove that they were not useless. Huamin gave this right to Old Master Su. Old Master Su was actually very happy. How is it not appropriate? You're the child's great-grandfather too. Lord Su, don't decline, okay? Huamin smiled gently. Chapter 3784. Seeing how sincere Huamin was, Old Master Su didn't refuse anymore. Okay, I'll try it. What about you and Chu? If you think it sounds good, then use it. If you don't, then don't use it. It's fine. Huamin nodded. We, the older generation, like to do things by the rules. If the father has 2 words, then the child must have 3 words. Old Master Su meant that Qin Chu had 2 words, so the child had to have 3 words. Yes, 3 words is good. Pudding and Little Bean also have 3 words. Then, do you need to overlap the words at the end like pudding and Little Bean? Old Master Su also realized that Qin Zhao Zhao and Qin Mumu's names overlapped. That's not necessary. Huamin didn't think too much about it. I hope that when this kid grows up he will have his father's heroic appearance, stunning appearance and open-minded mind. I also hope that he will have your maturity, calmness and intelligence. Mian, you're so knowledgeable. You should know that in ancient times there were 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. The monarch of the 5 emperors was called Yao, right? Yes, I know. Yao Shun, and you are all very famous. Huamin nodded. I especially like the word Yao. I think it's very domineering and has the style of a king. When I named you back then, I chose you because not only does it sound good, but it also has the meaning of resistance. It can block all obstacles and dangers. In fact, you has experienced a lot over the years, but he can always turn danger into safety. I think this name is very auspicious. So if you don't mind, I want the little guy to be called. Before Grandpa Su could finish his sentence, Huamian understood what he meant. Qin Yu Yao. Isia. What do you think? Old Master Su smiled lovingly. Sounds very good. Huamin nodded. He liked it from the bottom of his heart. Old Master Su didn't believe in feng shui or birth characters. Just like that, the little guy's name was finalized. Old Master Su had high hopes for the little guy, hoping that he could combine the strengths of his parents and Su Yu's bravery and unyielding spirit. Many years later, Old Master Su passed away. Huamin once brought his son to pay respects in front of the memorial tablet. He even said emotionally, "That year, your name was given by your great-grandfather, your name alone, but he entrusted his hopes to the 3 of us, so Yu Yao, you have to be well. Go back and discuss with Chu and see what he thinks." Grandpa Xing was still worried and reminded him. He felt that it was not impossible for Qin Chu to avoid Su Yu because he felt that the word Yu was too dazzling. In fact, Qin Chu's heart had always been as tolerant as the ocean. When it was time to be jealous, he would be jealous. But when it came to such a big matter, he would definitely understand. Before the little guy was even born, his name had already been decided. Later on, Pudding and Little Bean always said that their mommy was biased. Why did they have the same father and mother? Why did their names seem so random? And his younger brother's name sounded like a great general? So domineering? On the way back, the twins had already fallen asleep. Huamin leaned lazily in Chinchu's arms. Honey, why aren't you saying anything? Are you angry? You don't like this name? Huamin was a little nervous. No, I like it a lot. Then why aren't you saying anything? I'm too excited to say anything, Chinchu said calmly. In fact, Chinchu also liked this name. He felt that it had the style of a king. Huamin, but honey, I've already given him his real name. I'll come up with his nickname, right? Chinchu turned around and acted like a spoiled child to Huamin. As a father, he felt very tired. Of course. As long as you don't name him Carrot, Potato, or Little Lettuce, I'll definitely agree. Huamin was very afraid that his son would have a vegetable name. After all, his real name was so domineering, his nickname could not be ruined. Chapter 3785. What do you think of the name Chinguaqua? You're bringing this up again? Huamin wasn't happy. She didn't want her son to be the scapegoat before he was born. I'll stop teasing you. So the nickname is... Huamin was full of anticipation. I haven't decided yet. Huamin, I think I'll know the moment I see him. Chinchu was looking forward to meeting his son. Huamin, you're so serious. I thought you'd name him now. I can't be so hasty. Therefore they never decided on a nickname for the little guy. At Imperial Star, Jiang Ye's performance was cancelled because of Han Yueyao's injury. Han Yueyao lost her only chance to become famous. But she didn't regret it at all. After all, after this incident she found that Su Yu's character couldn't be better. He was too manly. At the headquarters of Imperial Star, Yao Yao, you should hide for a while, a female colleague reminded her. Why? Because Gao Yero is coming here for a photo shoot. I heard she doesn't like you. I'm afraid she'll make things difficult for you. It's okay. It's broad daylight. She can't kill me. Han Yueyao just smiled and didn't hide. She continued to do chores. But everyone took good care of her. Knowing that she hadn't recovered from her injury, they didn't let her do too much work. They just did some printing and organizing. Sure enough, half an hour later, Gao Yero came. But she came alone. The other trainees didn't come. Su Xiaoxiao didn't come either. Bro, you're here. Come, the photographer is ready. The person in charge greeted her warmly. Han Yueyao hadn't seen Gao Yero for a long time. She heard that she had the most attention among the trainees. Xiaoxiao didn't want to be a star and the Su family wouldn't let her debut. So she could only be a trainee forever. A few days ago, Gao Yero's birthday party was live-streamed. It was said that she had more than 3 million fans online, which was a good number for a newcomer. Now she was dressed even more dazzlingly. Han Yueyao didn't say anything. She sat in a corner and busied herself with her work. Han Yueyao, I heard you were in a car accident. Why are you back so soon? Gao Yero didn't let go of this opportunity. He ran to the corner and found Han Yueyao. It's thanks to you I survived. You must be very disappointed, right? Hee, what are you talking about? We're all classmates and we've known each other for a while. How can I hope for you to die? You have to live well so that you can witness me walk to the peak step by step. Gao Yero was very proud of her current situation. She seemed to think that she would definitely become famous. Can you live up to your bragging? Han Yueyao smiled. Han Yueyao still dissed her as before. Han Yueyao, don't you know the situation you're in? Gao Yero smiled. She raised her voice and ordered, Han Yueyao, go get me a glass of water. I'm thirsty. Chapter 3786. Everyone was annoyed by Gao Yero's behavior. Even a superstar like Nia Lingxian didn't act so arrogantly. He was just a rising star. Who gave her the right to order people around? Did she think she was a rich girl and a maid? Everyone thought that with Han Yueyao's temper she would explode on the spot. But she didn't. Instead she walked to the water dispenser and got a glass of cold water. Here. But I'm not thirsty anymore. Gao Yero smiled. Then she bent down and whispered something in Han Yueyao's ear. She said, Do you understand your situation now? Han Yueyao's expression didn't change. After Gao Yeruo left, her female colleagues immediately came over to gossip. Yao Yao, did you offend her before? Offend her? Sort of. Han Yueyao nodded. Then you should stay away from her. I heard that this girl has a bad personality. When she's in the spotlight, she acts cute and coquettish. She wants to create a perfect goddess image for herself. But in private she has a terrible temper. I heard that she threw the letters her fans wrote into the trash can. If her family didn't have some connections, she wouldn't have become famous. Forget it. No matter what, she's capable of becoming famous. It's just a glass of water. It doesn't matter. Really. After the car accident, Han Yueyao's personality was still the same as before. But she had toned down a lot. She was prettier than Gao Yeruo and had a better temperament. She had interacted with Su Yu many times and was Su Xiaoxiao's only friend. This alone was enough to make people jealous. So Han Yueyao didn't think it was a big deal to make things difficult for her today. But to her surprise, something big happened that night. It could be said that this incident caused an uproar in Imperial Star Entertainment. It was right before the end of the day when the executives had a meeting. Su Yu looked at the documents and didn't say a word. President Su, this time XX Satellite TV spent a lot of money on this reality show. I heard that the price of a 5-second commercial spot is 8 figures. Our artists will definitely become famous if they go. Unfortunately, the competition this time is fierce and we only got one spot. What kind of reality show? Su Yu leaned back on the sofa tiredly. It's a dancing show. The guys are all famous superstars and one of the female stars is even a popular starlet. She has a lot of fans, so this show can be considered a spot on Weibo. All aspects of the publicity are on point. What's his name? T went straight to the point. One dance to topple a city. The name is not bad. What about you guys? Do you have anyone in mind? Su Yu asked everyone while twirling a ballpoint pen in his hand. Everyone looked at each other. Then someone said, President Su, I think the trainee captain, Gao Yeruo, is a good choice. She's very popular recently. Yeah, she has a lot of fans now. A few days ago, during the live broadcast of her birthday party, she received almost 2 million yuan worth of gifts from the fans. I heard that a male fan gave her more than 300,000 yuan in one go. Are you sure you're not looking for trouble? Su Yu chuckled. No one dared to make a sound. President Su, do you have anyone in mind? If we don't use a newcomer, we can use our successful veteran artists. It's a good opportunity for them to become famous again. I think we should use Han Yueyao. Su Yu's words stunned everyone. Most of the people sitting here didn't know who Han Yueyao was. President Su, who's Han Yueyao? A gossiper couldn't help but ask. Chapter 3787. If you don't know her, go to the company's HR department and check. Hey, it's settled. With that, Su Yu stood up and left. He was so domineering that he didn't accept any rebuttal. After walking out and couldn't help but ask, President Su, aren't you being a little too obvious? What's too obvious? Aren't you being too biased towards Han Yueyao? And chuckled. It's a dance reality show. Of course, we have to send an artist who's good at dancing. Otherwise, it'll embarrass our company. Okay, you're handsome. Whatever you say is right. And knew that President Su would definitely find an excuse for himself in a self-righteous manner. Of course, and felt that President Su was biased towards Han Yueyao mostly because he felt guilty for implicating her in the car accident. After getting into the car, Su Yu suddenly asked, how's the investigation on that incident going? It's still under investigation. President Qin, Dr. Hua and Gao Ran have all investigated it. They all know, but they didn't tell me, Su Yu said calmly. Maybe they want to help you secretly solve the problem? And guessed. Of course. That's why our Dr. Hua is really cold on the outside but warm on the inside. After Su Yu was discharged from the hospital, he asked him to investigate the car accident in secret. When he was hospitalized, he kept thinking about the scene. He always felt that something was wrong. How could there be a car accident? The culprit was dead and no one in his family was there. Was his whole family dead? Su Yu investigated and found the problem that Huamin and Gao Ran had found. Someone wanted him dead and deliberately set up the car accident. However, he was lucky and didn't die. Now Han Yueyao was implicated. He remembered that night after getting off the cruise ship, Han Yueao wanted to go back to the dormitory by herself. Suyu was kind, but in the end the two of them almost went to see the King of Hell. So this time, Suyu deliberately gave this opportunity to Han Yueao. The higher-ups were unhappy, but who dared to object? The big boss had personally named them. Gao Yeruo couldn't believe it when she heard the news. She went straight to one of the higher-ups she had given a gift to before. Manager Wang, didn't you say that it was definitely me? How did it change? About this? I don't know. In the past, the big boss never asked about this kind of thing. But today President Su was very strange. Then I have no chance at all? Gao Yeruo was angry not only because she couldn't go, but also because the little bitch Han Yueao was going. Wasn't this a huge slap to her face? She had just made things difficult for them today. Now everyone was waiting to see her make a fool of herself. I can't stop this. Don't worry. Since I didn't help you, I won't take a single cent of the 300,000 yuan. I'll return it to you when I get home tonight. Manager Wang, it's not about money. Chapter 3788. I'm sorry. It's not convenient for me to say. Han Yueao decided to gloss over it. She neither denied nor admitted it. After all, if she admitted it and Suyu denied it, it would be a slap in the face. If she denied it and Suyu continued to pretend, it would be a slap in the face for Suyu. After much consideration, Han Yueao decided not to disclose it to the public. However, the vagueness of his words made everyone even more suspicious. Now, even the company was spreading rumors about her relationship with Suyu. After calming down, Han Yueao sent a WeChat message to Suyu. To be honest, she didn't dare to call him. President Su, what's the deal with the reality show? Suyu was playing on his cell phone while in drove. They were going to eat pan-fried buns. After being discharged from the hospital, Suyu had a good appetite. Eating, drinking, and having fun all day seemed to make him more open-minded about life. Didn't the company send out a letter? It's what you saw. Why me? Han Yueao asked casually. Because you're the most suitable one. Suyu didn't beat around the bush. Everyone said it's likely to be Gao Yeruo. It sounds like you don't want to go. If you don't want to go, I'll let Gao Yeruo go. No. I'm willing. I'm very willing. As long as you're willing. Prepare well. Don't embarrass Imperial Star. President, are there any shady deals in this show? What shady deals? Hearing Han Yueao's gossip, Suyu was confused. The one who gets the most sponsorship money will win the championship. What's in your head? Don't expect me to give you money. Even if you lose in the first round, it's because you're useless. Calm down, President Su. I'm just asking. No. Suyu's voice message was grumpy. It's good. Then I can participate in this fair competition with peace of mind. Han Yueao heaved a sigh of relief. Fair. You wish. You were at the bottom of this competition because you're a newcomer and have never shown your face. You don't even have a single fan. How can you be compared to those popular starlets? Every time someone posts on Weibo, there are hundreds of thousands of comments. I don't want to compete. I'll be satisfied if I can go up. Besides, the company doesn't want me to go for nothing. There's a labor fee, right? Speaking of money, Han Yueao became excited again. So you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So I'm taking the initiative to send you to the reality show and I'm giving you money? Isn't that so? Yes. That program will be recorded once a week. Usually, you will still have someone to accompany you in the performance department. I have arranged a dance teacher and a temporary assistant for you. They will help you. As for your remuneration, it will be 10,000 yuan per episode. What if I can become the champion? Then I'll give you $1 million as a reward. If you can't get it, you can come back and continue to work for me. It's a deal. Han Yueao was very happy. After signing the gentleman's agreement with Suyu, Han Yueao was very happy. Then she picked up her cell phone and called Humin to tell him the good news. Humin was happy for her. They chatted for a while and then Humin went to check the wards. Vice Director, bad news. One of the patients is missing. Missing? Which bed? Humian was a little surprised. South Side was such a good place and it was rare for patients to run away. She's in the VIP ward, Miss Seng. She's out of the hospital. Oh. She was here this morning. When the nurse went to bring her medicine at noon, she disappeared. She hasn't come back since. Chapter 3789. Huamin found it strange. Have you searched the hospital? I've looked for him. Doesn't Xingro have bodyguards? The bodyguards said they don't know where Miss is. How's that possible? Huamin took out his cell phone. He had saved Xingro's number before. He dialed the number and was told that it couldn't be reached. Did the security room check the surveillance footage? Yes. Did you find anything? The young nurse shook her head. Nothing unusual. Where and when was the last time Xingro appeared in the surveillance footage? Around 9 in the morning, she was walking in the back garden in a hospital gown. After she came in, I didn't see her again. You didn't see the footage of her leaving, right? Yes. That's strange. Xingro's disappearance wasn't a big deal. She was an adult with bodyguards. What could have happened to her? But with Xingro's personality, even if she had a falling out with Huamin, she wouldn't leave the hospital without telling him. Besides, Xingro didn't take her personal belongings with her, which meant she had no intention of leaving the hospital. In fact, Xingro's leg injury wasn't a big deal. When she came to Southside for treatment, Huamin found it strange. But he didn't think much of it. Later, on his birthday, when he found out that Xingro had done something to him on the cruise ship, Huamin realized that this woman had ulterior motives. Since then, she had been more wary of Xingro and tried to avoid Xingro's room when she did her rounds. She didn't want to have indifferent conversations with Xingro. Besides, Xingro had been trying to get something from her. How about this? If she's been missing for more than 24 hours, we'll report her to the police. Otherwise, the city bureau won't accept the report. How can that be? Vice Director Hui, you should know who our miss is. The bodyguard was displeased that Huamin didn't take this seriously. I'm following the rules. If you think it's inappropriate, you can ask Miss Zheng's father to step in. I will call our master and report to him. The bodyguard looked at Huamin coldly. Huamin didn't say much. He turned around and returned to his office. But thinking about it carefully, this matter was indeed a little strange. She created a separate group with Qin Chu, Su Yu and Gao Ran in it. She briefly explained the matter to everyone. Qin Chu, on the other hand, was very calm and did not say anything. That woman can be lost? She can't be lost. Su Yu said with disdain. To be honest, Xingro's good impression of Su Yu had been completely erased. He no longer had any friendship with her. If she's really lost, then we're in trouble. It was Gao Ran who said this. I agree with old Gao. We all know Xingro's background. If she's lost in the city, both my wife and you, the bureau chief, will be responsible, Qin Chu analyzed. The key question is whether Xingro is playing a prank to make herself known. Chapter 3790. Honey, you suspect it's Yen. It's possible. Yen has been investigating the person behind Xingro since she left. Huamin thought it made sense and replied to Qin Chu, yeah. Yen said the person who used such a high-tech eavesdropping device must have a deep background. But I think if it's Yen, she would have told me when she kidnapped Xingro from the hospital. But I didn't even get a call from her. Maybe Yen didn't want to talk to you about it. I'll ask her the next time she calls me. I'm afraid the situation will change before she calls you. Xingro is Secretary Zheng's only daughter, Qin Chu emphasized. It doesn't sound optimistic. The couple didn't talk about their private conversation in the group chat because it involved Lu Yen. Su Yu didn't care about Xingro's disappearance. Gao Ran was worried that the provincial government would make things difficult for them if they couldn't find her. Everyone had their own business to deal with. Meanwhile, in a kindergarten for nobles, Little Bean, what are you doing? I'm in PE class. They're playing ball. Why aren't you playing? Buyuan sent a voice message to Little Bean. I'm not interested. I must catch up on my classes and try to be in the same class as you. I don't want to be in kindergarten with these kids. So boring. Gao Buyuan, I'll wait for you to come to my school. Little Bean, my family hasn't been peaceful recently, Gao Buyuan said mysteriously. What's wrong? My parents have a tense relationship. It seems a pretty auntie is seducing my dad. Huh? You have a mistress? Yeah. Think so. I didn't dare to ask, but my mom was in a bad mood a few days ago and didn't have the mood to cook for me. She sent me to my grandma's house. You haven't been home these days. Oh. I'm still at my grandparents' house. I'm worried. It's okay, Boyne. As long as you take me seriously, I'll take care of your business. When the chubby little bean said these words, she looked like a big sister in the pugilistic world, full of dominance. Of course I take you seriously. Other than my parents, you're the one I care about the most. When I have delicious food, the first person I think of is you. Then I think of myself. Brother Yunchu ranks third. Buyuan's world was very simple and he saw things very directly. Oh, don't mention Yunchu. How can he and you be the same as me and you? Little Bean was more knowledgeable than Buyuan, so she knew that they couldn't be compared. Little Bean, what should I do now? Should we do something? Don't worry, I'll discuss it with my sister and give you a perfect plan. Then tell Pudding not to tell Auntie Huamin. If the adults get involved, then things will get even more complicated. I understand. Don't worry. Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran had reconciled. So the couple had been very sweet recently, but they still had to do some embarrassing things at night. Chapter 3791. Pudding glanced at Little Bean with disdain. Chin Mumu, you think too much. Let's end this meaningless conversation. Since they had different perspectives, the sisters parted on bad terms. Little Bean ran to the side and continued to comfort Boyne, who was flustered. Pudding, on the other hand, walked out of the classroom with her phone and looked at the scenery outside. Qin Zhao Zhao. Ms. Li, Pudding greeted a young female teacher wearing a gray suit and black-rimmed glasses. She was their homeroom teacher this semester and was said to be very strict. Why don't you go out and play with the others? Not interested. Your daddy and mommy said you like stocks? Yes, Ms. Li, you're such a smart kid. Thank you, Ms. Li. But stocks depend on luck. Sometimes it has nothing to do with intelligence. Pudding's straightforward words made the female teacher feel a bit awkward. You're so smart at such a young age. No wonder everyone says you're better than your sister. No. My sister and I are twins. We have the same strengths and weaknesses. Really? The female teacher seemed to be trying to find a topic to please Pudding, but the results were barely satisfactory. Ms. Li, is there anything else? If not, I'll go back now. Qin Zhao Zhao, who's coming to the parent-teacher conference in a few days. I haven't decided yet. Pudding's expression was calm. Possible, ask your dad to come, okay? Why? Pudding felt the female teacher's request was very rude. To be honest, the parent-teacher conference in a few days might talk about new projects for the school. Isn't your dad the president of GK? If it's a large donation, I don't think your mom can make the decision. You're wrong. Everyone in my family listens to my mom. Is that so? The female teacher was once again speechless by Pudding. Ms. Li, can I ask how much we need to donate this time? I'm not very sure about that. During the meeting, the principal said that each class has to contribute at least 5 million. I've looked at the information of our class. Only your company is the most powerful, so you might have to take a little more. The rest will be divided among the others. So, since our family is rich, our family should take more, right? Teacher, what kind of logic is this? Pudding sneered at the female teacher and questioned her. Yes, that look of disdain was very obvious. It was impossible for the female teacher not to notice it. Qin Zhao Zhao, I'm the form teacher. You can't talk to me like that. Teacher, my sister and I have only been in this school for a few months. When we first came here, my father took 1,000,000 yuan sponsorship. Although 1,000,000 yuan is not a lot for our family's money doesn't grow on trees. Our family is not a banknote printing factory that can print banknotes, right? So, now you want to take the most just because our family is the most powerful. Why do I feel so uncomfortable? I suddenly feel that my parents might not come to the parent-teacher conference in a few days because I think it's completely meaningless. The female teacher's thoughts were very simple. She wanted to coax the child and say something nice. Then she would ask her parents to donate some money and everything would be fine. However, as soon as she opened her mouth, she was viciously rebuked by the child. Naturally, she was unhappy and shocked. How was this child's intelligence at all? No wonder she had to skip several grades at such a young age to come here and study with children who were much older than her. I didn't make this decision. You have to know that this is the decision of the school leaders. What if my family doesn't want to donate money? Pudding looked at the teacher expressionlessly. fortunately, and came after she stood at the door for a few minutes. He was driving Suyu's new car. Everyone thought that Suyu's new car would be a black Lamborghini Sixth Element. After all, that was the car that he had loved for so many years. But what was surprising was that Suyu only bought a red Ferrari, an ordinary model which cost less than 3 million. No one knew if he was trying to keep a low profile or something else. No one could guess what he was thinking. And parked his fiery red Ferrari in front of the dormitory. She hurriedly got into the car. Half an hour later she arrived at the private room where Suyu was. When Han Yueao entered, Suyu was chatting with someone about business. Ignoring her, Han Yueao found an empty seat and sat down. At this moment she got used to the dim light and saw the people in the private room clearly. Her mouth fell open in shock. These people were all Chapter 3793. They were all A-list big shots. Han Yueao had seen a few famous directors at the movie premiere. There was also a famous producer who was excitedly chatting with Suyu. Each of these big shots had a woman in their arms. These women were not ordinary young models or ladies from nightclubs. These women were all famous actresses. One of them was a recently released spy drama from the Republic of China. It was very famous and looked very likable. She was wearing a black backless gown and sitting on the lap of a famous director. The director looked to be in his 50s. He put his big hand on the actress's back and touched her. Han Yueao felt disgusted. At this moment someone seemed to notice her. A slightly plump man in his 30s walked over with a wine glass. "You don't look familiar. Did you just debut?" The man asked with a smile. "Yeah." Han Yueao nodded. "Your work?" "I was planning to perform on Dancing Allure," Han Yueao answered honestly. "Hee, what a coincidence. I'm the executive director of this show." "Oh, director, hello. Your skin is very good. You don't have makeup on, but your skin is still so good." The man looked like an experienced flirt as he stared at Han Yueao's face. Indeed, when Suyu called, she had already removed her makeup. It was troublesome to put on makeup, so when she came out she only tidied up her hair. She came out looking like she had nothing on. She didn't expect that she would be so stunning without makeup. "Thank you for the compliment. How old are you?" 25. "You're at a good age." The man looked at Han Yueao with a complicated expression. The things in his eyes were intriguing. "Come on. It seems that we'll have a lot of dealings in the future. Let's have a drink?" The man smiled and raised his glass. Han Yueao was wondering if she should drink when Suyu stood up. Suyu said to a producer beside him, "Excuse me." Then he stood up and walked over, pushing the man to the side. He looked at Han Yueao as if there was no one else around. "Why are you so late?" "I've been here for a long time. Seeing that you were busy, I didn't want to disturb you. Come here and sit with me." Suyu asked Han Yueao to leave while the man stared at her back. Perhaps it was because she had been dancing since elementary school, but her figure and temperament were all in the golden ratio. Her back view was also very beautiful. "President Su, your girlfriend?" A few directors began to ask in an uproar. Therefore she smiled and didn't deny it. However, she changed the topic and said, "Yao Yao is the person we recommended for Dancing Allure. When the time comes, please take care of her." "Impressive, Suyu. You actually dared to use a newcomer. Do you know how high the viewership ratings for this show are?" "That's right, President Su. It's so obvious that you're praising your girlfriend. Is it appropriate for a newbie?" "It's a professional dance reality show. Yao Yao is a professional dancer." Suyu's words made everyone understand what was going on. The female stars looked at her in a different light. When women looked at each other, there was always envy and jealousy. Even the popular Xiao Hua was no exception. "President Su, you really put in a lot of effort. We all thought it would be your company's Gao. The Gao this woman was talking about must be Gao Yarou." Han Yueao listened quietly, without a word. "President Su, you dared to use a newcomer. If she doesn't have the viewership ratings and is eliminated in the first round, won't Imperial Star be disgraced?" Someone questioned. Han Yueao suddenly felt that Su Yu's decision to put her on this show was too far-fetched. Seemed to be very troublesome. She pursed her lips and looked up at Suyu, who was wearing a white BV with mixed feelings. Chapter 3794. Hearing her words, Suyu smiled slightly. I'm here to have fun. So what if I'm eliminated? What's the point of being disgraced? My Imperial Star Entertainment is a living signboard in the industry. Tell me, whose face am I disgracing? Su Yu's words were like a needle in a velvet glove, and all the directors, producers, and even investors understood what he meant. This meant that the Crown Prince was displeased. Who is Su Yu? With his current status, he wouldn't care about a reality show. For actresses like Jian Tong and Yelingxian, he could use money and connections to groom them into superstars. The key question was whether he was willing to do it or not. I won't disgrace you, President Su. Han Yueyao didn't know what was going on. She looked at everyone's sarcastic remarks directed at Su Yu. She felt extremely uncomfortable in her heart, which was why she said those words at this moment. It seemed that she was making a promise to Su Yu, but in fact she was putting a lot of pressure on herself. Hey, we're here to drink. Let's not talk about anything else. Su Yu seemed happy. He checked the topic and didn't talk about the dance anymore. During the banquet, many actresses went up to Su Yu to propose a toast. At that time Su Yu was a little drunk. When Han Yueyao came, he had drunk a lot with the directors and producers. So Han Yueyao was worried. President Su, stop drinking. You just got out of the hospital. It's okay. I'm full of energy now. Su Yu didn't seem to care. If Sister Mion knows, she won't be happy. Seeing that he was so disobedient, Han Yueyao used Huamin to scare him. Whoa, kid. You know how to threaten me. Under the dim light, Su Yu narrowed his eyes and looked at Han Yueyao up and down. I don't care if it's a threat or not. As long as it works on you. If you drink again, I'll hit you. If I don't drink, you drink for me. This is a social event, understand? Su Yu teased her. But Han Yueyao took it seriously. All right, I'll drink it for you. At this moment, someone came over to propose a toast. Under Su Yu's surprised gaze, Han Yueyao picked up the wine glass in front of Su Yu and drank it. You brat. Su Yu didn't know what to say. President Su, you're amazing. You even brought a helper. Let's drink until we're drunk. When everyone saw that the woman brought by Su Yu took the initiative to drink, they became even more rowdy. It was 1:30 a.m. when Su Yu and Han Yueyao walked out of the nightclub. Su Yu was slightly drunk, but Han Yueyao was dead drunk. Seeing her drink so much, he didn't dare to drink anymore. What if something happened? Before he left, one of the directors patted Su Yu on the shoulder meaningfully. President Su, enjoy. Su Yu was confused. He thought to himself, enjoy your ass. He supported Han Yueyao as they staggered out. Seeing this and was exasperated. President Su, are you too completely wiped out? Oh, you're still alive, aren't you? Su Yu glared at An, who didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Why are you still standing there? Come and give me a hand. This damn girl is too heavy. And hurried over and helped Su Yu support Han Yueyao. President Su, what should we do now? Let's eat. And, no, I mean, where are we going now? Shaoan didn't know what to do for a moment. The Ferrari could only seat two. Obviously, Su Yu couldn't drive after drinking so much. How could he drive but only one person could sit in the passenger seat? Chapter 3795. Drive her back to her dorm and then pick me up. What are you talking about? Hurry up. I'm dizzy. I'll drive Miss Han home first. And couldn't figure out what his boss was thinking. Following Su Yu's order, he drove Han Yueyao back to her dorm. Su Xiaoxiao was surprised when she opened the door. Uncle, and she's drunk. President Su asked me to drive her back. Please take care of her. Su Xiaoxiao took Han Yueyao and closed the door. Then she looked at the drunk Han Yueyao. You've grown up. Your relationship with my uncle has improved by leaps and bounds. Are you so drunk that you can't go home? Drunk as a cat, Han Yueyao couldn't hear Su Xiaoxiao's words. She just kept saying, I want water. I'm so thirsty. I want water. When An went back to pick up Su Yu, he saw the man sitting on the steps of the nightclub. Several security guards and the manager of the nightclub were trying to persuade him. Where'd Su go in and wait? I'll make you a pot of tea. Drink it while you wait. Oh, it's so cold here. You're a man of high status. Don't catch a cold. The manager was scared. If anything happened to Su Yu at the entrance of the nightclub would be closed the next day. I'm a man, not a girl. I won't catch a cold. You guys go back. I'll cool down here. Su Yu's words were vague. fortunately, and arrived at this moment and took Suyu away. When they got home it was late. Suyu took a shower and planned to go to bed. Maybe because the water was cold he woke up a lot. Lying on the bed he scrolled through his cell phone. Su Xiaoxiao's WeChat message came in. Uncle. Speak. I just took care of Yao. She fell asleep. Oh. Suyu didn't respond. Did she drink with you tonight? We drank with the producer. He's on that reality show. You're so biased. Not only did you give her a reality show, but you also took her to warm up in advance. Which star would get such treatment? No wonder Gao Yero is so jealous. You sent me a WeChat message so late at night just to ask such nonsense? Suyu frowned. He thought to himself that this little niece of his had nothing better to do. Of course not. I'm actually curious. It's so late and you two are drunk. Shouldn't something happen? Suyu, uncle, why did you send Yao Yao back? You should know that she likes you a little. You should take her to a hotel. Then put on a story about how you gradually fell in love with each other because of a one-night stand. Isn't that how all the CO novels are written now? What are you thinking? You look like you're in a hotel. What time is it? Why aren't you sleeping? Uncle, I'm serious. You're single anyway, why don't you consider it? Su Xiaoxiao, your dad called me recently. He wants you to go to the south. I won't go back. I won't go back. I'll go back to see him and that vixen. I'd rather die than go back. If you don't want to go back, then stop gossiping. I'll discuss it with you's father and grandfather, and we can think of a way to get you guys married first. Han Yueyao was surprised that Lady Su had such an idea. No matter what method she used, it was a great temptation for Han Yueyao to marry Suyu first. There was no doubt that she liked Suyu. Seeing her hesitation, Mrs. Su added, Yao Yao, you only have one chance like this. Have you thought it through? Which one is more important? Chapter 3797. Lady Su's words were undoubtedly a great temptation to Han Yueyao. She was a girl from an ordinary family, who wouldn't want to fly to the top and reach the sky in one step. She heard that Huamin was the same. She married Qin Chu as an ordinary girl and became the young madam of the Qin family. It wasn't that she hadn't thought of such a beautiful dream before, but, Auntie, how should I put it? What you said is indeed a great temptation to me. Not only me, but countless women in Sea City dream of marrying Suyu and marrying into the prestigious Su family. So, I'm very happy to hear what you said because it means you approve of my character. Lady Su looked at Han Yueyao and didn't speak. She just quietly observed her and listened to her words. But I think, when it comes to marriage, you either have to be well-matched in terms of social status or be in love with each other. But I don't seem to have either of those conditions, so, Auntie, I'm afraid I'll disappoint you. I'll still say what I said before. Although I'm from a small family, I know where I stand. The difference in social status is one of the reasons. The person Suyu loves is not me, and that's the most important thing. If he loves me, I might have the confidence to try, but now, I don't want to do this. I won't be happy and neither will Suyu. Hearing this, Lady Su's expression didn't change even though she was rejected by Han Yueyao. To be honest, this girl was young and didn't have a very high education level, but her words were indeed of a high standard. She believed that she had thought it through carefully. Just the fact that she dared to reject Mrs. Su proved that she was actually very dignified and courageous. As for the rumors that she was greedy for money, they probably didn't know her well enough. So, no matter what, you're going to debut. I just want to make money, Auntie. In fact, it doesn't matter if I'm a star or not. I'll be satisfied as long as I can earn a decent income with my own abilities and make my parents' lives better. I really don't want to cry when they're in poor health and need large surgery fees. I don't want them to still have to work for their families when they're old enough to retire. That's enough. Then Han Yueyao stood up and bowed deeply to Lady Su. Thank you, Auntie, for giving me the opportunity to develop at Imperial Star. Then Han Yueyao turned and left. Lady Su's gaze turned complicated. Han Yueyao was indeed a commendable girl, but she was young and stubborn. After leaving Imperial Star, Lady Su went to South Side. She had wanted to talk to Huamian and ask her if she could persuade Han Yueyao not to participate in the reality show, but Huamian didn't. But when she arrived at the hospital, she didn't see Huamin's director. The nurses were very polite to Lady Su when they saw her. Because of Huamin's recommendation, Lady Su worked here as a director at the foundation. Where's Vice Director Hua? She's not in her office. Vice Director went out. Where did she go? I don't know. She was picked up by a black Audi A8, a nurse said. Did she say when she'll be back? No. The nurse shook her head. Curious, Lady Su picked up her cell phone and called Huamin. But she couldn't get through to him. Did something happen? Lady Su thought worriedly. Chapter 3798. At this moment Huamin was taken by the black Audi A8 to a beautiful manor in the suburbs. It looked like a farmhouse. Of course, President Wu was with her. Otherwise Huamin wouldn't trust others so easily. Huamin's bodyguards followed them in their car. However, they were stopped when they arrived at the scene. Wait for me here. It's fine. Huamin gave them a look that said, I'm fine. The bodyguards stopped in their tracks. One of the bodyguards in charge immediately took out his cell phone and reported the incident to Qin Chu. Qin Chu was working in his office. When he saw the bodyguard calling, he immediately picked up. This bodyguard was responsible for protecting Huamin and wouldn't call him easily. President Qin. What's wrong? Don't worry, it's like this. In the afternoon, a black Audi A8 came to the hospital and picked up young madam. Director Wu was also in the car, so young madam said that she was fine. We drove and followed them all the way. Now the location is 35 kilometers away from the suburbs Fengming Villa. I think that since those people dared to let us follow them, they should be fine, but I still think that it's necessary to tell you about this. Give me the license plate number. It's not a local license plate. It's from the province. The license plate number is CF378. The bodyguard gave him the license plate number. Okay, I got it. Keep an eye on it and contact me if anything happens. After hanging up, Qin Chu immediately looked up the license plate number. When he saw the background of the car, his expression changed slightly. He's here. Qin Chu only said one sentence. However, it shouldn't be a problem to take Huamin away in broad daylight. Plus he wouldn't do anything to him. After Huamin and President Wu were brought in, they sat in a quaint private room. 5 minutes later the door opened. A white-haired man wearing a blue checkered shirt walked in. He looked to be in his 50s. His face was dark and he seemed to be in a bad mood. You guys wait at the door. Yes. After sending the bodyguards away, the man walked over and sat down. When President Wu saw who it was, his expression changed drastically. He stood up immediately. Hey, you, sit down. Let's talk. The man waved his hand and Director Wu sat down in his seat, still in shock. Seeing President Wu's expression and hearing him call him secretary, Huamin guessed who it was. This man must be Zheng Rou's father, a big shot in the province, Secretary Zheng. Hey, why are you here? I didn't receive any news. Director Wu was also dumbfounded when he arrived. He was picked up from his home and then went to Southside to pick up Huamian. On the way he wondered why there were so many people here. When he saw Secretary Zheng's secretaries Hunmin he's. In his memory he had only met Secretary Zheng once when he went to the provincial meeting. After that they didn't know each other. Don't be nervous. I called you here because I want to ask you something. Then Secretary Zheng glanced at Huamin. Vice Director Hua, do you know my daughter Zheng Rou? I do. Huamin nodded. She had an injury on her leg. I advised her to stay in the provincial hospital, but she wouldn't listen. She said she was your good friend and that you were an excellent doctor. That's why I let her come here to rest. Yes. She told me. Then please tell me where my daughter is. Secretary Zheng sounded slightly angry when he said this. He must have known Zheng Rou was missing. That was why he came here to question Huamin. Chapter 3799. To be honest, I really don't know where she went. How is that possible? She's been staying at Southside. The only time she left the hospital was on your birthday. It seemed that Secretary Zheng had a tight grasp of Zheng Rou's whereabouts. But she's just a patient here. She's recuperating here. Her whereabouts are her private matters and I have no right to interfere. I'm also looking for her and trying to contact her. I've even checked the video surveillance at Southside, but I haven't found anything. I think you should ask her bodyguards instead of me. They're her personal bodyguards, so they might know more than me. Huamin wasn't frightened or incoherent just because the other party was Secretary Zheng. On the contrary, her attitude was neither servile nor overbearing. She even sounded dissatisfied with Zheng Rou. President Wu listened quietly. He was wrong to be caught here. President Wu, who was about to retire, didn't care about many things. He rarely went to the first hospital. His immigration application had been approved. He was waiting to hand over his work to Huamin and then go abroad to retire. He didn't expect such a big thing to happen before he left. President Wu didn't know Zheng Rou, but from the conversation between Huamin and Secretary Zheng, he learned that Secretary Zheng's daughter was recovering at Southside but was now missing. President Wu panicked. If Secretary Zheng's daughter was really missing, it didn't matter how she went missing. Southside must have something to do with it. Kid, I've heard that you have a sharp tongue. Not only are you not afraid of me, but you even seem to blame me. Secretary, you're overthinking. I didn't mean that. I'm just stating the facts. Zheng Rou is my friend. Her injuries have healed a long time ago. I don't know why she's still here. Maybe she has something she wants to do but hasn't finished. Secretary, you can investigate further. Huamin wasn't sure if Secretary Zheng knew that his daughter had been eavesdropping on her. So he was just testing the waters. Sure enough, Secretary Zheng's expression was complicated. Don't be nervous. I called you here to find out more about the situation. Secretary, if your daughter is really missing, it's a big deal. I suggest you ask the local police to do a large-scale search. President Wu said this. It was right for Secretary Zheng to ask the police for help, but he didn't dare to do it. I still don't know what's going on with Ruru. I don't know if she ran out naughtily or was kidnapped, so I don't dare to act rashly. If she was really kidnapped and asked the police to find her, it would undoubtedly alert the enemy. I'll think about it again. Secretary Zheng raised his hand and massaged his temples. Indeed, as a father, it was understandable how he felt when his child was lost. Huamian couldn't bear to see him like this and said, Secretary, I suggest that we search secretly, even if we don't do it on a large scale. Zheng Rou is an adult and very smart. The person who kidnapped her can't be an ordinary person. I don't know if they have political motives. If the kidnappers know who you are and come for you, we'll be in big trouble. Hearing Huamin's words, Secretary Zheng's brows furrowed. I know. You can go back now. Seeing that he couldn't get anything out of them, Secretary Zheng waved his hand and had someone escort them out. On their way back, President Wu didn't dare to ask more questions and Huamin didn't say anything either. But Huamin had a feeling that Zheng Rou's disappearance wasn't that simple since Secretary Zheng had come to look for his daughter. What kind of force was behind her? And, did Yan really have something to do with this? Lu Yan had kidnapped someone as easily as stepping on an ant. But the problem was that Huamin didn't believe that Yan had kidnapped someone under his watch without telling him. At this moment on a shabby fishing boat, Zheng Rou was put in a sack with only her head showing. She was unconscious. Wake her up. Chapter 3800. The moment she said it, she felt as if a basin of cold water had been poured on her. Zheng Rou woke up from the illusion. She felt like she had a horrible dream. She dreamed that she was in the back garden of Southside Recuperation Center, playing with her cell phone and browsing Weibo. Then a man came over to ask for directions. Before she could say anything, she lost consciousness. When she woke up and saw everything around her, Zheng Rou instantly realized what had happened to her wasn't a dream. It was real. She was kidnapped right under the nose of her bodyguards at Southside Recuperation Center. Miss Zheng. The man's voice sounded evil. Zheng Rou looked up and was surprised when she saw his face. Huasiqian. Zheng Rou couldn't imagine meeting this man again. Who is this man now? A fugitive? Huamin's archenemy? You think I'm him too? Unfortunately I'm not, Jack. Zheng Rou remembered the information she had read about Huasiqian from the chief. Huasiqian had severe dissociative identity disorder. Under certain circumstances, his second personality, which was Jack, would be triggered. It was said that most of the people Hua Xiqian had killed and done bad things were done by the second personality. It seems, you know a lot. Jack wasn't surprised that Zheng Ro called his name. He said he was happy. Why did you kidnap me? Isn't Hua Min your enemy? Zheng Ro pushed Hua Mian out as soon as she spoke, not wanting to be threatened. What a pity. I wasn't interested in you, but our master said we could use you to force Lu Yen to show up. Your master? Who are you with now? Zheng Ro's curiosity was off the charts. If she could figure out who was behind Hua Xiqian, she would be able to report to the chief. When he reported this to the chief, he might even be able to gain some merit. Don't be naive. You're not qualified to know our master. Well, no, Mr. Jack, the problem is, if you want to force Lu Yen to show up, you have to capture Hua Min. They're sisters and I've already fallen out with those people. Did you catch the wrong person? Caught the wrong person? No, how could this be? You even know about the relationship between Lu Yen and Hua Min. Zheng Ro, you must have a powerful background as well. Jack stared at her with a faint smile. Zheng Ro realized that she had said too much. Only a few people knew about the relationship between Hua Min and Lu Yen. It was said that Su Yu, Gao Ran and the others knew very little about it, but he said it out loud. This was indeed suspicious. I'm friends with Hua Min. She told me that before. Zheng Ro quibbled. Do you take me for a fool? Do you think I don't know Hua Min better than you do? Except for Qin Chu, she never told anyone about Lu Yen. Miss Zheng, you're from a rich family and haven't suffered much. I don't want to hurt you. Let's get to the point. If you don't want to suffer, answer my questions obediently. If you don't, our master will get angry and you'll probably be fed to the sharks. Jack pointed at the sea and smiled viciously. Zheng Ro finally realized that she might be in the open sea now. She might be thrown into the sea at any moment. My dad won't let you get away with it. Since you caught me, you should know who my dad is. Zheng Ro thought her father's identity as the secretary might be able to intimidate them. But she was wrong again. After hearing her words, Jack just laughed. His laughter was full of sarcasm. Chapter 3801. What are you laughing at? Zheng Ro was annoyed. I'm laughing at you. You think you're smart, but you're still not as smart as Hua Min. I don't want to compare myself to Hua Min. Zheng Ro felt bad when she said this. It seemed that as long as Hua Min was there, she would be the only one with the limelight. Everyone liked her. Even her enemies, even Jack, who hated her to the core, praised her. Why? Was it because she was Hua Min? I don't have much time and don't want to waste it with you. First question. Why did you go to Southside? To recover, Zheng Ro answered quickly. Splash. At Jack's order, his men poured a bucket of ice water on Zheng Ro. It felt bone-piercing. The journey to the hospital had been bumpy, and before she could recover, she was splashed with ice water. No one could withstand it. Hua Xiqian, you're a fucking psycho. Zheng Ro cursed in exasperation. At this moment, she didn't care about her status as a socialite or rich girl. So you must tell me the truth. I'll ask you again. Why did you go to Southside? I really went there to recover. My leg is injured. Didn't you check it? Besides, Hua Min and I are friends. I thought he'd take care of me at Southside. Zheng Ro didn't dare to reveal the power behind her. If she did, she wouldn't be the only one to die. So she insisted that she went to Southside for treatment. Treatment? Hua Min believes your nonsense, but I don't. You're not telling the truth, right? Jack asked as he gripped Zheng Ro's chin. I'm telling the truth. Maybe it was because she was too cold, but when she answered Jack, her teeth chattered. But keep splashing. Jack stood up, losing his patience. Another bucket of ice water was splashed on her. Zheng Ro felt her whole body was soaked in cold water. Then she blacked out and fainted. Mr. Jack, the woman fainted. Take her down and let her rest. When she wakes up, continue. All right. Also, release the news that Zheng Ro was kidnapped by a young and beautiful woman. All right. Southern District Hospital President Wu was sent home by those people, while Hua Min returned to Southside. Sister, me on your back. Are you okay? Worried, Qin Jia hurried forward and asked in a low voice. Hua Min shook his head. President Qin is here. He's waiting for you in the office. My husband is here. Hua Min was a little surprised. He quickened his pace and pushed open the office door. Qin Chu sat in her office chair looking troubled. It was only when he walked in and saw that she had returned safely that his expression softened a little. Honey. Lord Qin, why are you here? In his memory, Qin Chu hadn't been here for a long time. The bodyguard called to say that you were taken away. It's fine. It's broad daylight and President Wu is in the car. What can happen to me? Hu Min smiled. She tried to make it sound as light as possible. But Qin Chu knew that the more she acted like this, the more serious it was. But he didn't ask anything. Honey, I haven't eaten yet. Can you eat with me? Hey. I want to eat braised pork. At the mention of food, Hu Min smiled and hugged Qin Chu's arm. You don't look like a vice director. Qin Chu pinched her chubby chin lovingly. I'm going to be promoted soon, okay? I won't be a vice director in the future. Humph. Just like that, under the envious gazes of the people in the hospital, Qin Chu and Hu Min walked out of the hospital hand in hand. In a Chinese restaurant near the hospital, Qin Chu ordered some meat and vegetables. Honey, the person who took me away today is actually... Hu Min knew that she couldn't keep it a secret, so she wanted to talk about it now that there were fewer people around. Honey, have some water first. Qin Chu interrupted her and poured her a glass of water. Hu Min was shocked. Mr. Qin interrupted her so obviously. Could it be that someone nearby was eavesdropping on their conversation? You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.